2 years had passed, and the family had found a sense of peace. Ava, now a curious and energetic toddler, was learning to navigate the world around her. She took her first steps, said her first words, and discovered new powers hidden within her. One sunny afternoon, as they played in the backyard, Ava's eyes sparkled with excitement. She raised her small hands, and to her parents' amazement, a tiny flower bloomed in her palm. "Wow, Ava," Lucia exclaimed. "You're making flowers appear." Ava giggled, her eyes shining with delight. "Mama, Papa, look!" Carlos's eyes widened in wonder. "That's incredible, sweetie. You're developing your powers." As they watched, Ava's abilities grew stronger. She made leaves rustle, birds sing, and even created a miniature rainbow in the sky. Lucia and Carlos exchanged a look of awe and gratitude. They had feared her powers might be a curse, but now they saw the beauty and wonder they brought. "Ava, you're a little miracle worker," Carlos said, scooping her up in a big hug. Ava squealed with delight, her powers sparkling like fireworks in her eyes. The family laughed and played together, basking in the joy and magic of their little girl's gifts. Carlos smiled as Ava used her telekinesis to help him move heavy objects in the backyard. "Thanks, kiddo." "You're a huge help," he exclaimed, watching as she effortlessly levitated a large wooden plank into place. Ava beamed with pride, her eyes shining with excitement. "I'm glad I can help, Papa," she said, her small voice filled with enthusiasm. Carlos chuckled, ruffling her hair. "You're not just helping, Ava. You're a game changer. I don't know what I'd do without your powers." As they worked together, Carlos couldn't help but wonder what other abilities. The possibilities were endless, and Carlos felt a sense of awe and gratitude at the thought of his daughter's potential. He knew that her powers were a gift, and he was determined to help her use them for good. As they finished their task, Carlos swept Ava up in a big hug. "You're amazing, kiddo. I'm so proud of you." Ava giggled, her eyes sparkling with delight. "I love you, Papa. I love you too, Ava," Carlos replied, his heart full of joy and wonder at the incredible abilities of his little girl. As Ava grew older, her powers continued to manifest in incredible ways. She could move objects with her mind, sense things before they happened, and even heal small injuries with the touch of her hand. But despite her remarkable abilities, Ava was the only one in Xylophia 4 with powers. Her parents, Carlos and Lucia, were ordinary humans, and her friends at school couldn't understand what it was like to have such extraordinary gifts. Sometimes Ava felt like a superhero, using her powers to help those in need. But other times, she felt like an outsider, like she didn't quite fit in with the rest of the world. One day, Ava asked her parents, "Why do I have powers, Mama? Papa, why am I the only one?" Lucia and Carlos exchanged a glance, and then Lucia spoke up. "We don't know, sweetie. Maybe it's because you're special, or maybe it's just a part of who you are. But we love you no matter what." Ava nodded, feeling a sense of acceptance wash over her. She knew her parents loved her, powers and all, and she was determined to use her gifts to make the world a better place, even if she was the only one with them. It was a typical Wednesday morning, with the sun shining bright and a gentle breeze in the air. Carlos, Lucia, and Ava were walking towards the school entrance, Ava's hand clutching tightly onto her father's. "Hey, kiddo, what's wrong?" Carlos asked, noticing Ava's reluctance to let go of his hand. Ava's eyes welled up with tears. "Papa, I don't want to go to school today." Carlos's expression turned concerned. "What's going on, Ava? You love school. What's changed?" Ava's voice trembled. "There's a bully, Papa. He started bullying me on Monday, and I don't want to face him again." Carlos's face hardened. "Who is this bully?" "I'll talk to him." Ava shook her head. "No, Papa, you can't fix everything, but please don't leave me today." Carlos's heart ached seeing his daughter so scared. "Ava, I promise you, no matter what happens, I'm here for you. You don't have to face this alone. And remember, no matter what, don't use your powers. We'll handle this together, okay?" Ava nodded, her eyes still brimming with tears. Lucia put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. As they entered the school, Lucia whispered to Carlos, There's something about that bully that doesn't feel right. We need to report this to the management when we come to pick her up. Carlos nodded in agreement. Absolutely. We won't let anyone hurt our daughter. With a heavy heart, Ava reluctantly let go of her father's hand and entered her classroom, her eyes fixed on her parents until they disappeared from sight. Ava's heart raced as she walked through the school hallways, her eyes scanning the crowded corridors for any sign of the bully. She had tried everything to avoid him, taking a different route to class, hiding behind her friends. But no matter what she did, she couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched, of being hunted. As she approached her classroom, Ava's anxiety spiked. What if the bully was waiting for her inside? What if he started teasing her in front of everyone? But as she pushed open the door and slipped inside, Ava felt a wave of relief wash over her. The classroom was a safe haven, a place where she could escape the chaos of the school hallways. Her teacher, Mrs. Johnson, was writing on the blackboard, her voice droning in a soothing monotone as she explained the day's lesson. Ava took a deep breath and made her way to her seat, trying to focus on the teaching and push the bully out of her mind. As she listened to Mrs. Johnson's words, she felt her tension slowly ease, her heart rate slowing down. For the first time that day, she felt like she could finally breathe again. As the lesson progressed, Ava found herself becoming more and more engaged, her fear of the bully slowly receding into the background. She raised her hand to answer a question, participated in a group discussion, and even managed a few tentative smiles. For a brief, shining moment, she was just another student in a crowded classroom, free from the weight of the bully's taunts.